here with you. We will officially get started in just a few minutes. We're going to let other people kind of trail in. But I thought I would go ahead and just start a conversation between us. So we do have a live chat that's going throughout this whole webinar, and we want to hear from you. Absolutely any questions that you have about certification. That's the main reason why we're here. But we also just want to know about you. We'd love to know where you're tuning in from. We are really interested in knowing why you are here. And not just to get answers to your questions, but what is it that drives you to even consider this in the first place? Because that really does matter to us. We're wondering if you've had any great insights as you've read about certification, or when you've heard other people sharing their experiences, if you've been a part of any of the other live events that we've been having this certification. We've had some really wonderful experiences with you as our community. And if you have an opportunity to share that with us in the chat, we would absolutely love to hear it. Thank you for your understanding of my mysterious look tonight. I'm having a little bit of eye sensitivity, so this is my creative solution for that. And let's see, I am just glancing at, we have a way to see, because I can't click onto the same platform where you are. We'll create this wonderful sound loop. But looking to see the comments that are coming in from you. Again, so excited to be here with you. We have some wonderful moments planned out, as always, right? Because what it really is about is connection with our community, connecting with each other. I feel very fortunate that I get to work with the people that I do. It's a really wonderful group of people, even the ones that you don't get to see on a regular basis in front of a camera or in a classroom. Okay, we will get started here in just about one more minute. We're just letting some people get signed in, get logged on, get all settled. So we will get going in just another minute or two. If you want to go ahead and drop in the chat just a little something. If you have your questions and you already know what you want to ask, please go ahead and put them in the chat. We do have specific times that we will stop and answer questions. We have a whole lot of information to give you as well. So it's very possible that we're going to answer your question and something that we already have outlined. So even if you post it right now, just know that we have seen it. We are going to chat with you about it. But it just may be in a little bit rather than like right off the bat. All righty, and we will let the other people sneak in the back door and sit down quietly whenever they are ready to be here. We're going to go ahead and officially get started. So I am going to give you a rundown of how tonight is going to go, just so you have an expectation of what we get to connect with on here tonight. But first, I just want to share with you a few thoughts. You know, during times of upheaval, more people need help with mental health. And when the economy is uncertain, demand for support goes up. And we've seen this, unfortunately, happen multiple times in the last decade. You know, there's just been a lot of opportunity for these two experiences to witness that sort of outcome. So we really, really need you. This is an industry where there is a lot of demand. Your community, you know, our community, we as the human race, you know, are seeking support and comfort. So having this tool set is even more vital than it was when I began this journey for myself. And something that I've never shared before. I've been doing this webinar for a while, which I absolutely love. But one thing I wanted to share for the first time is, first of all, a question. Do you know that doing a certification course is actually kind of a big lift in a company? It's real easy to think that, oh, well, you've already got it pre-built. You just plug it in, push play, and that's it. This is actually what we spend the majority of our time working on the whole year round. And we do it because we love it. We do it because we find value in you, in your own healing and connecting with you and assisting you to have the tools that you need to connect with the people that you want to connect with. You are our biggest dream. So tonight, we're here to talk about certification. And, this timing, it may be right for you, it may not be. But either way, you are going to leave here tonight experiencing our reason of why we do this as people and as a company. And that is to connect with you. As far as what you're going to experience tonight in terms of certification, you're going to see a course outline of what you will get in certification. Bit by bit, you'll have a very thorough understanding of what our whole program is. I am going to share with you how you can enroll. You're going to meet a few other people that will be very key members of what certification will be once you are enrolled. But the first person I'm going to introduce you to tonight is Mr. Dr. Dawson Church. I love talking about this friend of mine. He's been a great example to me personally and to anyone who knows him of movement, personally and professionally. Personally, he was brought up in poverty. He has been more open talking about this recently, but he was surrounded by hypocrisy and abuse. And he pursued an outward pathway for his inner belief that better existed, even though he had no proof of that yet. But by doing that, he now has a multi-million-dollar business and the largest EFT certification program in the world and the only clinical certification program. And the purpose is to offer people hope and healing through proven scientific methods. He is an author, and he's authored the best-selling books, Genie in Your Genes and Spiritual Intelligence. And he's the founder of the National Institute of Integrative Healthcare, also NIIH. Now, the NIIH's largest program is the Veteran Stress Solution, which you may have heard of. It has offered free treatment to over 22,000 veterans with PTSD. Now, this training, Dawson's training, has set such high standards that EFT Universe training is accredited for continuing education, and that's for medical and mental health professionals, and that is through the American Medical Association and the American Psychological Association. He's also played a central role in bringing energy therapies into primary care settings, like the Veterans Administration and the Kaiser healthcare system, two places that are tricky to get into. That's a really big deal. His accomplishments have led him to share stages with lots of names that you're probably going to recognize, the top transformational leaders of our time: Joe Dispenza, Marianne Williamson, Tony Robbins, Donnie Eden, Dave Asprey, Jack Canfield. I could go on. But tonight he's here, and he's here with you because he's not done, and he wants to offer more. And this program, this certification, has proven successful through years of thriving graduates, thriving not just financially, but physically, mentally, and emotionally, because these methods work. And he and the people he has handpicked to employ in this program know how to support you to get you to where you want to be. And I cannot overstress the quality of connection and process and care that exists in this community. So if you've been looking for that, you have arrived. Now we just need to know if this is your time. So with that, I will pass the time over to Dr. Church.
Fable, I am so grateful. Thank you so much for being part of that community. And thank you everyone here for being part of that community and all of those things that we have accomplished over the last many years. The Veteran Stress Solution wasn't me. It was me initially and 11 other people who had the vision for the stress solution. And EFT and clinical EFT was a committee of people who came together, and the goal of that committee was to put together all the best ideas for how to have a totally solid and reliable method for EFT. So every step of the way, it's been community, and community is still one of our core values at EFT Universe. If you want to know what our values are, just type in values into EFTuniverse.com. You'll find a list of our core values there, and community is one of the top ones. So it's so wonderful to be welcoming you here. I'm so delighted to be here. I've been so excited today, and actually the last few days, about us doing this webinar together. And I know you're going to have a deeply enriching time here as we share in the next roughly hour and a quarter together. You're going to learn a lot. We're going to do some tapping. Guess what? My favorite thing, tapping. What's the solution? Tapping. What's the problem? I don't care. Whatever it is, the solution is tapping. Tapping's going to make things better. And you'll find yourself really being filled with inspiration and insights in the course of the next hour and a quarter or so. So I'm going to honor you for being here, your presence, your intentions. You're making the time to do this. You could have been doing any number of other things. You could have been out playing pickleball. You could have been watching reruns of The White Lotus. Wouldn't have done you nearly as much good, but you had lots of choices in your life and you chose to be here. And when you say yes to life and say yes to opportunities like this, guess what? Life has a funny way of saying a big yes. Right? You'll find that yes popping up over and over again. And that yes and tonight and our time together and clinical EFT matters more than ever before. We're living in a world that needs help, needs solutions. We're at a turning point, and the need for emotional resilience, for healing, for that community, for inspiration and wisdom, all the things that really count in life, is greater than it's been for a long, long time. EFT certification isn't just another credential you collect. It's a life-changing skill set that transforms your personal life, your personal health, your relationships, and the lives of all of those around you. It's urgently needed at this time in history for healing our own bodies, our own minds, for healing our families, for repairing the world. The enrollment window for this cohort closes tomorrow. So if you're feeling that little intuitive nudge, and if you are, you probably know it, moments like these don't come along often, but they can shape the entire trajectory of our lives. And I want to give you some examples of how that does shape people's lives. And I'm going to ask one of our trainers, mentors, and admissions advisors, Miriam Padinsky, to share some examples, share some cases from her experience of how it shifted the lives of people that she's worked with. Miriam is a meditation teacher, healer, writer, researcher. She's the director of consciousness programs at EFT Universe, and she's worked with hundreds of clients and students. Her specialty is helping them liberate themselves from ancestral trauma, from intergenerational trauma, and move into the higher conscious states of embodied spirituality. She's served on the faculty of Brown University, Smith College, and the University of Vienna. So, Miriam, please do share a couple of case histories that show what clinical EFT can do.
Oh, thank you, Dawson. I am always so blessed to be here and, be alongside you. And kind of like, it's been just an honor to teaching alongside you for many years now. And it's been an honor, and it is a daily honor to be teaching alongside and or to be leading these powerful sessions with clients. And I would like to tap myself on the shoulder and say, oh my God, I'm so amazing. But really, what is amazing is the tool. The tool EFT is what is so amazing. And you will watch these highly skilled practitioners, of course, and you will think, how will I get there, and it seems like it looks like magic when you see a certified clinical practitioner working with a client and you see transformation within 45, 60 minutes. And you're like, how could we have started here and ended the session there? How could this have happened? And it is this incredible tool. And again, it's something I get to see on a daily basis. And just today, I've had a new client. She's had chronic migraines for years, and in fact, she actually came into the session with a migraine. And I'm glad she showed up. She said she was close to not coming to the session because she was suffering so much, and she has used EFT for many years. But what she's used is she used it on apps and she used it on YouTube, and that's great. That's amazing, and we're glad she did that, right? But today, at the end of the session, she said, I would never have gotten where we got today by myself just tapping on the apps or on YouTube, because where you will take clients climbing down the ladder of the subconscious through the body with this incredibly safe, gentle, wholesome, and effective tool, efficient and effective, is something that only a clinical practitioner will be able to do with you. And those are the tools that you would be taught in these next months. And it's hard to explain where you will be. Like the same thing as in the session, kind of like beginning of the session and end of the session. It's hard to put it into words where you will get in those next few months, and the levels of proficiency, the levels of confidence you will get to lead your clients through any kind of situations and let the tool work. And again, we have over the last years even discovered that we can access generational trauma, ancestral trauma. You don't need to work with trauma, but we do want to equip you in a way that when you work with whatever client is facing you, when trauma shows up or when a stress shows up, you are equipped for it. And this is what's happening. And again, it's something I see on a daily basis. Blessing to see our students thrive. It's a blessing to see my mentees, my trainees thrive and say, I would never have thought that I would be able to lead a session like this, and be blessed with seeing the incredible transformation in my clients on a daily basis through clinical EFT, where we lead you into these specific events, into these specific sensory experiences, because this is what we need to untag, and this is what we'll be teaching you over the next few months. And I'll end it by saying, if you are not quite sure yet, or if you have some personal questions, please feel free to book a call with one of the admissions advisors. We still have some calls left. They will be posted in the chat. They will be available to you. Again, don't miss this opportunity. There will be an opportunity, no strings attached, for you to talk to a person one-on-one and see whether this is the right fit for you, whether this is the right time for you. And I'd be happy to be in a conversation with one of you. I actually see a few names and see that I've talked to some of you already. And I'm happy to talk to more. So thank you, Dawson, for having me. And yes, thank you.
Miriam, thank you so much for your wonderful energy and your wonderful skill and all of those one-on-one calls you do make to people who are curious about certification. And it was funny, I just happened today to be looking up migraine as well on the EFT Universe site as I was looking for stories for next week's newsletter. And I was amazed how many there are. There was more than one screen full of case history after case history by practitioner after practitioner, many of them in cases where they tapped on somebody for a migraine after they tried many other remedies, and they tapped with them and they recovered from their migraine and they never had another migraine. And a number of them also said they looked below the surface and found an aspect that was anchoring the migraine that no one suspected until that tapping session. Now, if you know what an aspect is, that's fine. It's on page 114 of the EFT manual. When you're in certification, when you're in our live classes, we're going to drill you on aspects are and how to find them. They are so powerful in clearing all of that backlog of trauma even able to work on ancestral trauma. I was on a podcast this morning with a host, and she's dealing with intergenerational trauma. And it was complete news to her that there was a way of eradicating it, of releasing all of those patterns passed along from generation to generation. That we find we can do that with clinical EFT. There's virtually no other therapy capable of addressing those ancient intergenerational patterns. So, that said, I'd like to talk for a moment about where we are today. As you've been chatting with friends, as you've been following social media, following the news, you'll know that everyone's really happy right now. Aren't they just happy, thinking things are going along great? Not so much. It's interesting that people are more worried today about the world than I've ever known them to be. And I know a lot of it's economic. They're worried about a recession. So last week, I actually ran an analysis with some sophisticated AI tools, artificial intelligence tools, to look at the leading economic indicators, the indicators that say there'll be a recession before there's a recession. There are lagging ones as well, but there are leading ones that predict it, things like credit card delinquencies and joblessness claims and so on. And the leading economic indicators are pointing toward at least a 50% chance of a recession this year. And so people are worried about that and about 1,000 other problems there are in the world. But here's something to be considering the career choices of EFT certification. Whether you're thinking of an additional part-time income source, whether you're thinking of making a full-time career change, you need to be really mindful of the fact that when the economy goes down, the demand for remedies, the demand for emotional healing goes way up. During COVID, think back to 2020, the stock market crashed by over 33%. Uncertainty filled homes and workplaces. But that same year, 2020, 2021, the demand for mental health services surged. The American Psychiatric Association reported that bookings by people seeking relief increased by 62%. So as the economy goes down, the demand for exactly what we offer in clinical EFT goes up. Therapists told me they were booked for months into the future during the next few years. Tapping practitioners saw their client loads surge despite the recession and the stock market crash. The world needs these emotional remedies, and your certification in clinical EFT gives you a skill that becomes more valuable the more unstable the world gets. So, new for 2025, we're always asking, how can we improve this program? Continuous improvement. What can we do better? So this year, we have a brand new program called the Complete Client Launch Kit. And you get this free when you enroll for certification. And what we're addressing here is how do we give our graduates immediate income once they learn those 48 clinical EFT techniques. And so you will get this absolutely free with your enrollment for certification. First of all, clients. Where do you find clients? We're going to give you a warm one-on-one introduction to 39 clients. We're not going to tell those 39 clients, go to our practitioner listings and find somebody. We're going to give 39 specific people one name, and that's yours. We're going to email them and introduce them to you as potential clients. And then what do you say when you're on the phone or you're on a Zoom call with them? Well, we're not leaving it up to chance. We're going to help you craft compelling offers. And usually these are packages, and usually they cost between $1,200 and $2,400. That's kind of the range that packages are in. We'll help you with the names of those packages, the concepts behind those packages, how many hours each package is, and we'll help you develop those. And that's that middle panel you see there, crafting effective transformational offers. Then we will give you, from curious and committed, how to turn those initial calls with clients into long-term relationships. And there are a number of things that's really important to do, and we're going to educate you in those, starting with the ideal intake form, an ideal intake form that gives you a sense of how to relate to people even before the first session. So all of that together is worth $7,777. The biggest part of it is client connection that assumes you will be able to offer and people will purchase from you for $1,800 packages. That's our goal for those 39 new clients we introduce you to. And you may do better than that. And of course, this is just immediate income. You move on to a career. So our goal is that you will thrive financially, whether the economy tanks, whether it does great. You can thrive financially as a clinical EFT practitioner in both good economic times and bad ones. So I want you to know that you do not have to accept a career that stifles your soul. You know those people who tell you, I'm hanging in there by my fingernails till retirement. I'm counting the days. We don't want that to be. We don't want you to be trapped in a unsatisfying career. We want you to have a career that really makes your soul sing, like it does for Fable and Miriam and me and all the other people you'll hear from here. And that your skills are going to be in demand, whether you choose to develop this full-time or part-time. You may also choose to go work for somebody. Like we have a graduate who works for Kaiser Permanente, leading healthy aging groups. We have another graduate who works for Kaiser Permanente, leading pregnancy groups. Another client works for a stop smoking program. Another graduate works for a stop smoking program. So there are so many ways in which this opens the door to a great income for you. Tapping in VA hospitals. There is now tapping in the VA. We were approved as an evidence-based therapy by the VA. It took 10 years. They are not fast learners, but they catch up eventually. And so you may find yourself working in an institution offering EFT as well. So don't settle. Don't settle for some miserable job, miserable career. Pick a life that brings you joy and balance. Clinical EFT changes lives, starting with yours. And with that complete client's launch kit, we will turn your certification into immediate income to help you thrive right away. So now let's do some tapping. I promised you tapping. I love tapping. We're going to do some of it right now. And one of the cool things about tapping is that we learn, usually from a very initial experience of tapping, that we don't have to suppress our fears, dissociate from our fears, avoid our fears. We face them head on. So I'm going to ask you to post some of your fears right there in the comments section so we can tap on them. These might be fears about getting certified, like, how am I sure I'll make money doing this? I'm afraid of changing my career. I have so much security now in what I do now. Maybe bigger fears, maybe fears about the economy, about the world, whatever your fears are, go ahead and post them in the comments and we'll tap on some of them right now. So post your fear. Also, I want you to grab a pen and a piece of paper, and I want you to write down your degree of emotional triggering on a scale of 0 to 10 when you reflect on that fear. So, what is
I want you to grab
your
a pen and a
degree
piece of paper.
of emotional
I want you to
triggering
write down your
as
degree of emotional.
you think of that fear? Fear. What's your number? 0 through 10. I'm just going to answer a couple of questions here. Kitty asking these additional packages will be about people who are already in the program. Yes, but with a catch. We want you to do them and we'll guide you through them. I'm going to ask you for a testimonial about them. So, yes, and. Um, Tanya, grateful to be in certification already. Richard, thanks for being on the call and being so supportive of people in this community. Um, Linda Seaver, you'll find all of those personal trainings on the website. Uh, so you'll just have a list of those trainings and you can pick the one you want. You can train either virtually or you can train in person. They're on both the East and the West Coast. So here we have a selection. Fear of foreclosure. Can I make my mortgage? Kitty, good one. Fears about not being able to run a business. What happens if I put new services out there and nobody says yes? Now, we already do a lot of this tapping with people in certification already. We help you meet all your internal fears. So this new package, the Client Launch Kit, is actually not focused on your internal fears because we do that already in certification. We know you're nervous. We know everybody's nervous. And so we're already going to do a lot of tapping with you on those internal fears. This is to give you the external support to create a great business. Um, Fear about finding clients, fear about building a self-sustaining practice. That's a good one. I mean, I talk with people, they get better and they go away. But guess what? They tell other people. Your clients become your advocates. I'll add a few new ones there. So let's go and start tapping as we work on some of these phrases and focus as well on your own phrase. Start on the small intestine meridian, side of hand point, tap with 3 or 4 fingers on either hand. Doesn't matter whether you tap with your left on your right or your right on your left. Feel your breath. Just notice your breathing now. And you can say this out loud. You can say it in your mind. This is scary. I had this fear. This fear is real. It's hard to accept myself with this fear. This fear can be immobilizing. And I notice I'm breathing now. I notice I'm safe. I have this fear and I'm safe. And I'm breathing. And I accept that these are all of me. And I accept myself just as I am with all these parts. Tune into your body again. Tune into the fear wherever it lives in your body. Tune into your number. Tap on the top of your head. This fear. This immobilizing fear. I don't know what to do. What if I make the wrong decision? Tap on your eyebrow point, 2 fingers on either side. I feel this fear. Keep your eyes open. This fear is real. I'm breathing now. And I have this fear. Tap on the side of your eye. A fear of finding clients. A fear of affording certification. Fear of this working for me. Fear of having a business. Fear of being successful. Tap under your eye, stomach meridian. Let's tap on both sides now. Again, keep your eyes open. And really tune into your body, wherever that fear lives. Is it your heart, your chest, your throat, top of your head, shoulders, pelvis, feet? Feel the fear. I feel my fear. I feel my fear fully. And I'm breathing while I feel my fear. The fear is real. My breathing is real. Tap under your nose. This fear. Under your lower lip, this fear. Collarbone points, this fear. Both sides again here now. This fear. Cross your arms, tap under your arms with the flat of your fingers. That'll get the spleen meridian. This fear. Fear of foreclosure, fear of running a business, fear of the money that certification costs, fear of not being successful, fear of not attracting clients. And then one more time on the side of your hand. Okay. Take a deep breath. And now tune back into that sensation in your body. Think about your fear and write down your new number. What's your number now? After just a couple of minutes of tapping. And I want you to now post your first and second numbers in the comment box. So if you're an 8 before and you're a 2 now, post 8 and 2. If you were a 7, now you're a 4, post a 7 and a 4. If you're a 10 and you've gone down to a 0, happens sometimes. We call those 1-minute wonders. Under 10 and 0. But write your number down there in the chat box. Richard, that's a really good one. What if I'm old and I missed my chance to help others? If all the times I could have really helped other people and I didn't, I let this hold me back. Okay, now, Lydia, if your number rises, that's great. That means you're really getting in touch with that fear. And usually, if it goes up, it's going to go up because you're really now in touch with it. Before, you may have been suppressing it, or it may have been uncomfortable to let it be there. But now you're feeling it. So often people will feel a rise in their numbers. And if you keep tapping, it's likely to come back down again. So keep tapping as we keep on going over here. Just keep tapping through all the points. Continuous tapping, you're likely to find it drops. So Tanya from a 7 to a 2, Kitty from a 6 to a 2, Rosemary from an 8 to a 4, and then someone from a 7 to a 5. That's a pretty good representation of how things tend to go in EFT. As we tap, our numbers drop. If we're getting in touch with our emotions and they rise, we keep on tapping, and that will generally lead us through our fears. And that's the way to approach not just this fear, but any fear you have. So I've answered a few of the questions as well, and I want to just mention before we go back to Fable to share a couple of stories with us, why this works is that it's evidence-based. That means it's based on clinical trials. There are over 100 studies published in peer-reviewed journals in the English language. There are over 100 studies published in peer-reviewed journals in other languages, not English, in French, in German, in Spanish, in Tagalog in the Philippines, in Turkish, in Arabic. There are EFT all over the world, and it helps no matter what. And you need that clinical evidence base to know that EFT that we teach you really works. And I'm going to just go ahead and share one of those studies very briefly. That is at an addiction center in California called Avery Lane. They have both an inpatient and an outpatient drug treatment center. People come in there, they're addicted to drugs, alcohol, food, all kinds of things, and Avery Lane's goal is to get them out. Now, you've heard the old story that you go to rehab, you get clean and sober, you leave rehab feeling great. 6 months later, often 6 weeks later, people are using again. So they go back into rehab, but it's a rehab relapse cycle. It's just kind of a joke in the whole rehab community that people go back. Not at Avery Lane. People get better and stay better because they're tapping. They're learning EFT. And here are some of the data collected from those inpatients. Suicidality. Many of them come in and they just want to kill themselves. And they've been sent there because they're in just a desperate state. Reductions in suicidality, 79% at Avery Lane. Depression, scores went on average from 79% at intake to 16% depression when people were discharged. Anxiety, 73% were anxious. 8% were anxious afterwards. Trauma symptoms, PTSD symptoms, went from 76% to 30%. Binge eating symptoms went from 33% to 11%. That's what happens when you use a clinically proven method like clinical EFT. And I'd love to just bring this home by going from the statistics to the people. And Fable, you've worked with some people who really were struggling. And I'd love you to share that story with us.
Absolutely. So this happened, I graduated in the springtime, and then I call this the summer of teenage girls because none of them knew each other, but over the span of that 3-4 months of time, had 6 different clients reach out to me, all within the ages of like 19 to 21. They all were just devastated because they had been working hard, whether it was they just graduated high school or just graduated a different program, been working to become certified and now getting into their career. And this was right when shutdown happened for COVID. And every single one of them, their hopes were just dashed. And they didn't know when or if it was ever going to be different for them. So they felt very, very hopeless. And were really struggling to find a reason to bother continuing. And really using language that gave me a clue that they were dealing with some end-of-life ideation. And just in sharing with them the science behind overwhelm and what happens in the brain and the emotions in the body, that alone gave them enough of a sense of, well, maybe there is something that I won't feel like this for the rest of my life. And long story short, they each ended up firing me but for the best reason possible. Within the 6 sessions that has been clinically shown to be successful for alleviating PTSD and other such things, they were fine. They were great. They had a new sense of self. They had a new sense of, okay, the world's different, but that doesn't mean that my life is over. And every single one of them, I checked up on them a couple of times, had moved on and were successful in their lives. And I can't think of a better reason to lose touch with someone is because they don't need me anymore as that practitioner. The tools worked. I was so new out of my certification, but because I had the training that I needed to follow the process, to notice the cues that they were offering to me, it was successful, and therefore they were successful. And I can't think of anything better.
And I reflect that, imagine the trajectory of their lives without clinical EFT could have been very different. So what a blessing.
Absolutely. So with that, I would ask all of you here, just think for a moment, about the stories that we've heard and how that has affected you. Have you thought about someone that you know? Have you related a story that you've heard with someone that you love, that you care for, with yourself? If so, and it feels safe enough to do so, we would love for you to just post that, to share. It helps to know that it's not just you, in the community. If you're here, it's because you care about other people, right? It's just sort of what this type of work draws in. And we would love to be there with you in that space, of when there's that gap of when you care for someone and you want to help and you're looking for answers and you're looking for ways. We've all been there. So yeah, drop it in the chat and we'd love to connect with you on that.
Yeah, who in your life, as you reflect on your circle, your social circle, your family, who in your life could this make a real difference to? We all have people that are suffering that we know if they just had this tool, and perhaps if we share this with them, it would make a big difference to them. So go and think about them, drop that in the chat.
And as you're considering those, I'll go ahead and pass the time back to you, Dawson, for us to talk about our big why. Oh, it looks like we may have a frozen screen, so we'll wait just a minute, actually. And I figured out a way to see the comments I have you pulled up on my phone live.
And while we're doing that, let's just step back for a moment from the what. And the what is certification, but the why. So for a moment, think about why. What's the big why for saying yes to the Ultimate EFT Certification Program? And the why is your dream of helping others heal in the context of a life, a lifestyle, a community style, a love style that supports your own, your health, your wealth, and your happiness. Imagine the freedom to work from anywhere. We have one practitioner, Amanda Wonderland, and she moved to Portugal, the Azores Islands, one of her lifelong dreams. And there she can still offer people sessions and support herself. Another practitioner, Tina Tran, she wanted to really have her days be with her husband and her children. So she works evenings, which works perfectly since she has her clientele mostly in a time zone that is suited to that time frame. Creating balance, nurturing yourself, nurturing your clients. Today, I went mountain biking, took a long break and went mountain biking, nurturing yourself as well as the people around you. And then immediate income. Immediate income, you get our complete client launch kit, and you set yourself up for a really well-paid long-term career. Finally, you see your own health improve, your confidence soars, and your sense of community broadens as you meet all the wonderful people in certification. So the why is you have the skills, the support, the inner alignment for that career and that life that reflects who you are at your best. So having looked at the why, let's look at the what. And I'd like to introduce Kurt Anderson. Kurt is EFT Universe's education director, and he'll share what you actually get and do in the Ultimate Certification Program. Welcome, Kurt.
Thank you very much, Dawson. It's a pleasure to be here with you all tonight. Let me begin with let's talk about the what. What are you actually committing to when you sign up for EFT certification? How long does it take? What are the hours? What's the flexibility of this? Am I going to be able to do this with my professional life, my personal commitments, my kids, et cetera, et cetera? We've designed this program specifically for working professionals, parents, people with responsibilities in lives. That's the vast, vast, vast majority of our students. And we want you to be able to certify within 12 months. The entire program is designed to be 12 months long. Now, we know that life comes up for people, and we want to be flexible, and we want to be recognize that you can't always predict everything that's going to happen. So we offer an additional 6-month free certification. So when you enroll in certification, your certification target date will be June 1st of next year. And then if that doesn't work out due to life circumstances, you have till December 1st of next year. And the amount of time that it takes to do this is 4 to 6 hours of dedicated work a week. It is a commitment. Those 4 to 6 hours are real, and they are necessary to provide you with the instruction, with the learning, with the time, and with the support to be able to do the things that clinical EFT practitioners do that you've heard all about. But we don't want you to be alone in this. So we have people join as a cohort with our next one starting right now. You get to be with a like-minded group of people who are interested and passionate about healing, building a strong community, groups of people that you become friends with. I hear this all the time as the director of education, or the people that I met in certification, the people I met at the workshops, I connected to at the live calls. These people are now my friends, my true, deep, honest, lifelong, committed friends. And we build that into our experience. We have 2 calls per month that are recorded and broadcast live, virtual. And in those things, we always build in an opportunity to talk, an opportunity to connect, an opportunity to meet other people. We have a thriving Facebook group of our certification students. I think it's over like 1,500 people. And the posts are constantly coming about what they're doing in certification, what they've accomplished. And our graduates stick around in that group because of the love, the community, the support, everything that comes along with that. And there's an accountability factor. You have people that are going through this with you. And that makes such a huge difference. And so let me get into some details associated with the specific program. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's get in here. Excuse me. Let me show you the overview and the layout of the course. You begin with the genetics of personal transformation, which is based on Dawson's book, The Genie in Your Genes. And this gives you a window into epigenetics, how your outer and inner environment affects your biological expression, which allows you to talk to people about how EFT, changing their emotional patterns, changing their activities, their behaviors, has the ability to fundamentally shift who they are, not only emotionally, but also physically. We get into the practice of energy psychology and EFT in Module 2, where you start to learn about these techniques, read about these techniques, build a basis of understanding for what you're going to be applying both at the workshops and in the mentoring portion. We have an entire module on professional ethics. How do you navigate the space of being a clinical EFT practitioner safely, with no ethical issues? And those books and the courses outline what those principles are. And as a practitioner myself, having followed these ethics modules, I have never once come close to having an issue. And it's because I understand exactly where I'm at because of this ethics module. We also have an entire module dedicated to the psychology of coaching, because most clinical EFT practitioners work in packages of sessions with people. They want to move towards something. And all this information in the psychology of coaching gives you the science of personal change. It gives you questioning tactics that allow you to open up what people want and also what they struggle with. When we get into Module 5, this is the art of delivery. And this is what really separates our certification program, is once you enter mentoring, doing your 40 sessions as a practitioner and training, you are assigned a one-on-one mentor, a real person. You have their email address. You can contact these people. There are calls. And they review your session notes, giving you strength-based feedback on these clinical EFT practices. What are you doing well? And because you can do these things well, here's the next area to explore. So when you start giving sessions, you are not alone. You have somebody who does this professionally, reading your notes and providing you with that strength-based feedback and support, guiding you through this mentoring module. And then finally, we have the energy, trauma, and healing module. It gives you a lot of information and learning and science behind how you work with trauma, how you can work with psychological trauma, PTSD, and how that's really, really benefits and helps these traumatized clients move forward. In addition to that, with your certification, with the tuition for it, are 6 full days of immersive workshops. These workshops are offered virtually in all time zones. So you can show up and connect and learn from people like Miriam and apply these skills with feedback, with support. All of that comes 100% included in your tuition. This is a full educational program that guides you from the beginning to the end. And at the end, you will leave as a confident, skilled clinical EFT practitioner. All right. And with that, that is the what. So, since we have gone through the what, I will turn it back over to you, Dawson, to talk about, is this for you? Is this for the people on this call? Thank you very much, Dawson.
Oh, thank you. And Kurt, I so appreciate how through the what, and you have such a passion for doing this. When you register for certification, one of the first things you'll encounter is a series of videos Kurt made, very, very brief, really, really pointed based on his many decades in education, giving you the outline of great study habits and how to study and move through the course as effectively as possible. So you'll really get a flavor of what he contributes as you look at those videos and implement those great study habits. So is clinical EFT for you? And it is a phenomenally powerful method that gives you knowledge of your body, your brain, and the science of how all these systems, from your genes, from your epigenome, from your microbiome, to your nervous system, to your organ systems, how your whole body works together, either when it's stressed or for healing. Clinical EFT trains you to lead people out of trauma and find not just equilibrium, not just being free of anxiety and depression, but far above that into peak states. Our clinical EFT program, of course, gives you the complete client launch kit. So you get immediate income after graduation. We guide you into creating your own business. And we also give you the tools to use in situations when, in many circumstances, coaches and even therapists, even mental health professionals, could feel overwhelmed. I've watched plenty of therapists get overwhelmed in client sessions, and it's really powerful to know that you can deal with people in really extreme distress and have the tools and the toolkit to be able to handle that. And finally, what you get in clinical EFT is a dramatic upgrade to your own health. There have been quite a number of studies of people who are taking the Ultimate EFT Certification Program, and it shows that, for example, in our 4-day professional workshop, between the start and the end, people's average drop in measures of stress is large. They have an 8% drop in blood pressure. If you walked in with high blood pressure, you're going to walk out with blood pressure 8% lower on average. A 37% drop in your main stress hormone, cortisol. And in a replication of that trial, a 41% drop in that stress hormone, an 8% reduction in resting heart rate, a universal measure of health, and also a 113% increase in immune markers. Because when your body's neurochemistry shifts and cortisol goes down, all kinds of healthy factors go up. So that's what you get in clinical EFT. If that sounds good to you, you're in the right place at the right time. So, Fable, I'd love to have you share now the payment plans, what this costs people, and how they can make this dream a reality for themselves.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Dawson. It's always such a gift to learn directly from you and to hear all of the things that you're up to and learning. And, I have a genetic disorder, for those of you who don't know, and it's without outside of my control to sometimes know the level of pain or sensitivity that I'm going to have. And I just get to show up with what I'm dealing with. But I knew that in coming on here tonight, the tapping would help me feel better. And it has, even though we have not specifically tapped on any of what I'm dealing with. And that's just the magic of part of what we're talking about, the very scientifically grounded and proven magic that we've gotten to experience here tonight. So thank you again for this opportunity to get to spend with all of you. But enough of that, let's talk about the money. So money is usually the barrier for people when it comes to education and career shifts. And you know what? That's valid. So let's break everything down for you right now so that as you're making this decision, you have a full and clear picture of cost and value so that you can make the right choice for you and your future. So by now, you can see why this is the most popular EFT certification program. And it is a great program. But one really key aspect that we haven't covered yet of just education in general, I want to offer it by asking a question. Do you buy courses and never complete them? I want you to know that if you do, that's only partially your fault, because it really depends on how the program is set up for you to succeed in it. And this has been studied. It's very fascinating to look into. If you look at, there's a whole information center, and it's called ERIC. So Education Resources Information Center. It's the US government. Says that an average of 12.6% of course completion happens. And that's including at colleges. So we're talking a lot of investment, right, into education. Still only 12.6% is completed. Ours is higher than that. We're much higher than that. And part of that is because of the craft of the people that we have who shape the certification, the support that you have, the live interaction that you have a lot of opportunity for success. And just as a fun extra little offering for that, to give you even more support for your success, if you enroll by midnight tonight as a gift from us for spending this time with us right now, we're going to give you a bonus. It's called Manifest More with Meditation, and that will be added to your account after your enrollment is processed. Now, this entire course is based from a workshop that Dawson no longer does, so you can't get this anywhere else. It has clinically proven effects on your body, your cells, your energy, your focus, and you'll learn all about that. There are 7 meditations to attune your body to optimum health and mindset to create that ripe opportunity for what you are wanting to manifest. So because it's not available anywhere else, because it has 7 ways to apply all of the information you get, it's a huge value. You can't even purchase it, but we will give it to you for free because we want you to have everything you need to succeed. If you do join this cohort, there are 41 other lovely souls that are already signed up, and that is a really great group of people waiting to meet you. The cost of certification is $4,999. Now that includes everything that we've talked about. There's not a single cent that we will come and ask for any of the workshops, any of the live interaction, the calls, the mentoring. All of that is included. Now, we have a couple of different ways that you can pay for this. So outside of paying all at once, our most popular payment option is having 2 payments that's just split in half, that's spread out over 30 days from each other. And the reason why that's our most popular option is because it's the best value. It's literally just that cost split in half. Now, for a lot of people, that's just not an option, and that's okay because we do have a monthly payment option as well. The monthly payment does have a little bit of a charge added to it just for processing fees, and that comes out to $459 a month. What that ends up totaling is $5,508. So if you're able to pay in full or half and then half in 30 days, you do save over $500, which is kind of like getting a whole month of payments for free. But I pay monthly, so certainly it is there to support you in whatever way makes this possible for you to be here with this cohort. And these options are laid out for you on the enrollment page. It's also where you can find to schedule a call with an admissions advisor if you have any additional questions about any of this. We put the link in the chat so you can find it easily. As far as how to pay, we do accept all major credit cards: Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, JCB, Diners Club, China Union Pay, even debit cards and PayPal. We are set up to get you set up for your success. Back to you, Dawson.
Thank you. And we'll just post that link there to schedule a call. And what you'll see when you click that link is you'll see the calendar of our admissions advisors. You can either book a call with them. If you'd like to just enroll directly, you can click on the link to the enroll page and you'll get all the information about it there. Make sure you read the frequently asked questions at the bottom. They cover all kinds of things like ethics and is this accepted by medical insurance, and what support do I get in starting my business? All of those questions are there at the bottom of the enroll page. And to talk to an admissions advisor, you just click that calendar link and make that appointment. But go ahead and do that because, again, said it before, saying it again, enrollment closes tomorrow at midnight. We'd love to have you involved before then. Let's hear now from some of the people who've been through certification. For the next 5 minutes, we'll go ahead and share some of the stories of people who've actually been there and done that. I'd love you to hear from them directly in their own words for the next 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and share that now.
Hi, I'm Diane, and I am also in the clinical practitioner training course. And I'm very pleased to be here to learn about myself and practice techniques for my own health and well-being, as well as begin my journey healing others. And it's wonderful to be here and meet so many nice people. Really enjoyed it and highly recommend the class, the course, and EFT.
My life has changed through the work of listening and being in the workshop. I'm in the certification program. And like I said, I was planning to bring this back to my agency, but I found a whole other piece to myself. The fact that I'm giving this testimonial today is something I would have never have done or been able to do prior to this workshop. The first day here, I had so much anxiety. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't really concentrate. It's been absolutely amazing what I've learned about energy psychology, EFT, and really the importance of bringing this to everyone out in the world. It's an amazing technique. It's an amazing program.
I'm very much an introvert, and yet everyone here is so wonderful. And with the processes we've gone through, I've really felt myself opening up and really connecting with people. So that's been a big aha and a big gift. I'm in the certification program. I really need to concentrate on self-work first in order to be able to hold the space that I'm going to need for my clients. So that's another wonderful gift.
My name is Leslie Stott. I need to start tapping, but it is emotional for me because there's a lot of love here. And you can feel it from the other people that are here taking the course. And that's been very nurturing for me. I love that Dawson's course is so well put together.
Hello, I'm JT, also known as John Toth. My certification path. This is the best investment of my time and treasure and talent. I've been involved in spiritual and personal development growth actually from the time that I was a youngster. EFT has already helped me break up some patterns that I've had repeatedly over most of my life. So I'm very grateful and encourage you to seriously consider it.
I'm Jackie, and I'm an executive and organizational coach. And when I found EFT tapping, I got to complete transformational issues that I've been dealing with for 17, 18 years. This is a perfect integration to take to my clients that will transform who executives and managers could be for their organizations and for the world, and what they can deliver as people who are bringing industry into life in a mindful, sustainable, life-giving way, rather than the one-sided making money out of business that's been traditional. And I just have this love for this work that I couldn't even have imagined, and just been wondering where it's been all my life. Taking EFT to executives and organizations and having people be for each other. Like, it's the we-ness of organizations. It's the taking care of Earth. We've got to be sustainable to have our planet survive. EFT opening up our brains to just envision who the we-ness, the oneness is in the world.
Hi, my name's Susan. I really believe that this is such a positive tool for transformation. It enables you to go to deep issues that you may have worked through for therapy intellectually, but that you haven't been able to get out of your system. I really, want to encourage anybody that wants to change themselves, get rid of old stuff, get rid of all those thoughts in your head, process them through, and go through the process. It's not just about learning a skill set that you can turn into something that could be economically viable as a profession, but you're transforming yourself.
Wow. I want to cry when I feel the hearts of those people. It is such a privilege. You'll meet people like that, and so many lifetime friendships have forged in certification. People connect with each other in powerful and deep ways, and I just love hearing people who are in the program share with others like that. So again, we'd love to have you as part of this. And as we are closing, I'd like to say thank you so much for being here. You know, the perfect moment and the perfect opportunity and always come along and present itself. And there's usually something that makes us hesitate. We ask ourselves, what holds us back? What is there that might be a stumbling block to me in doing certification? I want to ask you to check in with yourself with a different question. This is the real question to ask yourself. This is the really powerful self-inquiry that makes all the difference. And that is, in 5 years, what will my life look like if I don't do this? You'll read so many of the testimonials of people on the website saying it was a big hurdle to push the button and enroll, but I did it, and I've never looked back. One of our graduates says, just do it. Forget about all those doubts, all that self-talk. Just do it. You'll be so glad you did. And if you right now let this opportunity slip by, if you just stay on the same path, thinking the same thoughts you've been doing, dealing with the same trauma you've been dealing with, having the same history you've had, will your cortisol be down 37%? Will your immunity go up by 113%? What will your money look like if you just leave the money that people are grateful to pay you for tapping with them on the table with those great packages that can bring you thousands of dollars right after certification? What will your life look like 5 years from now if you do nothing? If you don't seize the moment? Will you still be longing for a change? Or will you be living that change? So enrollment closes tomorrow. And if there's even part of you saying, yes, that might well be the nudge of your intuition telling you this is the direction for you. So I'm so grateful that you're here. Thanks for making the space in your life to honor your dreams, to really examine your life purpose, your life calling, your life potential. And I'm so glad you had a chance to feel feel the energy of this wonderful community of people. It is real. It's here to lift you up. It's here to support you. It's here to inspire you as you step into a bigger life. Enrollment closes tomorrow and is gone from your life for right now. So take a breath, feel into your heart and say, where do I want to be 5 years from now? And what else could possibly get me there? Where do I want to be 1 year from now with that up-leveled health, with that community, or will I hesitate? What legacy do I want to leave to other people, to the world, with the gifts that I have been given? If your heart is saying yes, even a whisper of a yes, don't wait. Now is your time. Book a call using that link you see there in the comment box with one of our admissions advisors. Chat with them one-on-one, and they'll guide you through your next step. Your dreams, your dreams deserve concrete action. Your future deserves this moment. I can't wait to see all the ways you will help other people heal. You will heal yourself by saying yes to a wonderful new future as you start this journey. So from me and everyone else at EFT Universe, thank you, thank you, thank you. We welcome you being here. We welcome you into this magnificent community, and we believe in that full potential of your life. Every blessing.